Hi, I'm Lee Hodgson and I'm here to demonstrate the Romany TR20. It's a 20 watt combo where the T stands for tremolo and the R stands for reverb. It shares common features with the now legendary Romany series of combos, those features being treble and bass tone controls, an EQ cut switch and a 4-position output reduction knob. The TR20 is a single channel non-master volume amp which develops 20 watts via two 6L6 output tubes running in class AB operation. Being a combo, it features a standard fitted Jensen Blue, as Dennis calls it. Technically that's a JH1270, which has a ceramic magnet. Okay, that's the spec. Let's get down to business. Let's take a look at the top panel controls. Mains on-off switch with the accompanying indicator light, of course. Standby on and off in case you want to save your valves in the brakes. I'd like to spend a little while talking about the output control. This reduces the output, electronically speaking. In a non-technical way, let me say that in position 1 it keeps it quite clean, even when you play forcefully. It's not really breaking up, which is the way you want it for certain styles. If I reduce the setting to number 2, it's not an awful lot different, to be honest. It's still fairly clean. You can hear it starting to break up. The volume may not have dropped. It's not a power soak. Den was at pains to point out it's not a power soak. It's dropping the volume in the room a little bit, but it's breaking up, that's the point. Just a little bit furry, which is nice. Setting 3, guess what's going to happen? The volume will drop just a little bit, but it will start to break up more. And more dramatically, if I go to setting number 4, the volume is significantly quieter, which you should be able to hear on camera. But more to the point, it will distort sooner. The headroom is lowered. I haven't touched any other controls. I've simply gone through the power setting. If I just take a moment to flick from one extreme to the other, which does no harm by the way, you wouldn't normally do this in real time, but I will do here for demonstration purposes. Can you clearly hear it cleaning up? And in reverse, from clean to dirty. Needless to say, you could take the volume down at the other end of the amp and have it whisper quiet. Moving on. The reverb, which is somewhat self-explanatory. I'll just put the power back up to full for a moment. 0 reverb, tiny splash. It's quite sensitive, this, so a splash of reverb at about number 2. There's a fair bit there already. About halfway along, plenty of reverb. I believe it's an Accutronics. And it does get quite cavernous, about 2/3 of the way up, and almost fully advanced there. And we have the tremolo depth and speed. I've preset the depth almost to maximum, to be honest, to make it noticeable on camera, and it's foot switchable. So off, on. And of course you're quite welcome to have the reverb quite advanced as well. Let's see how slow the tremolo can go and how fast. It's really quite fast, and of course anywhere in between. let's take the tremolo off and quite simply bass and treble controls. This is a 112 combo, remember, a Jensen Blue as Dan calls it. Even with the zero bass, that's fine. Bass on about 4. More than enough, but of course you may wish to have even more for a jazzy type tone. And of course treble. Let's hear the treble right down. Right up. Somewhere in the middle. EQ cut does what it says, it cuts the EQ out. Now think about it, it takes all of the circuitry, all the tone circuit out of it, which isn't a bad thing. It radically changes it, it lets the sound through like this. That was quite loud in this room. I can hear the neighbours complaining, and that's 4 miles away. So let's turn it down to output setting 4 for a more sensible sound. Now notice I haven't touched the volume, which incidentally is on about 7 at the moment. Take the reverb down a bit. Can you hear that it's radically altered the amp's character? This is the pure sound. It's as close as you're going to get to input straight to output. That's the EQ cut. Let's hear the balance. EQ back in. Output setting 2, by the way. Clean it up a bit. I want you to hear the difference between EQ operational